Tonight on News 5 Live, a pair of leaked surveillance videos show the deadly weekend attack that claimed the life of 16-year-old Japhet Stamp. The family of Gabriel Tillett speaks out in the wake of his murder. Elmer now returns to court regarding the New Year's Eve triple murder in Belmopan. And a breath of life for the once lucrative shrimp industry. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
The Belize Tourism Board, Mars Production, and Belican present the biggest show to hit the jewel we call Belize. It's the Belize International Music and Food Festival 2.0. Join us on Saturday, July 29th and Sunday, July 30th at the Marion Jones Stadium with live performances by Morgan Heritage,
I'll be down by the river.
the dancehall queen Spice,
Me's a girl, me no fight over man.
Busy Signal,
Turn up for them stairs,
Afrobeat sensation Rotini, the biggest dancehall artist for 2023, Byron Messiah,
from which part?
alongside Skinny Fabulous, Giselle, Earth and Owls, Mr. Warming Up Adam O, and Lyrical. It's the Belize International Music and Food Festival 2.0, July 29th and 30th. Come savor the rhythm as we pair music with the best of Belizean cuisine. Sponsors are Belize Tourism Board, Belican, Niche, Pop, ICB, Wine Smith, eCash, Dolphin Production, Digi One, Channel 5, Love FM, Creme Radio, Channel 7, Vibes Radio, Fiesta FM, and OYE Radio. Come on!
When hungry or craving, when laughter or tears, enjoy the best snacking or flavors are here. Asadas, bocadas, chiladas, doradas, Belizean for snacking, done right and done here.
Done right, done here.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, July 5th. I am Sabrina Daly. Today, surveillance footage from the area of Rivera Street and Faubers Road was leaked and ended up on social media. The video clips capture the killing of 16-year-old Japhet Stamp and the subsequent shooting of 43-year-old Wayne Matura. It is believed that the videos were shared with police to assist with the investigation, but were leaked from the department. Word to News 5 is that Commissioner of Police Chester Williams is not happy about the release. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
3 videos are circulating online that captured the deadly shooting on Rivera Street that claimed the life of 16-year-old Japhet Stamp on Sunday. They were forwarded to the Belize Police Department to assist investigators with cracking the case. A 2-minute surveillance footage, the longest of the 3 clips, shows Stamp running before collapsing on the street. he had been mortally wounded by gunfire. In 15 seconds, a shirtless individual runs towards his body. Stamp's legs can be seen moving, and then another 15 seconds later, the person returns and lifts the body. It is during this time that he reportedly removed the firearm that was in Stamp's possession.
The teen was going to carry out a shooting, and it so happened that those he was going after got the upper hand, and he was killed.
The accomplice who police believe went with Stamp to the area used the firearm to carry out another shooting at the Matura residence on Farbers Road. A second leaked video captured 43-year-old Wayne Matura running for his life from the gunman, who wore short pants and a shirt on his head. The assailant entered the property and chased him around a pickup truck. Matura managed to get under the vehicle in an attempt to escape his attacker, but was shot in the leg nevertheless. The intent to end Matura's life was averted when the firearm snapped, and so the gunman ran away towards Boots Crescent.
Wrong. His vehicle, he was running for his life. No, he got shot in his foot as a hard-working man with a family. No, he's down.
We didn't expect it, but we're going to leave it to God. He is more greater than any man on this earth. We're going to leave it to God.
It has been established that the Matura family is not involved in gang activity, nor are they part of the ongoing rivalry in the area.
Let me say that the guy, Matura, who was shot, he is not a member. He was innocently targeted. So it seems like after they were not able to get the person that they wanted, they just came into this yard and shoot somebody, trying to send a statement. Thank God it did not materialize the way they wanted to. The young man is in hospital, he's recovering, and we hope for a speedy and full recovery for him.
At this time, the Matura family is focused on Wayne's recovery.
He have to go undergo a surgery to put some nuts and bolts in his foot, in his leg, because his femur bone is shattered. What else?
How is he doing though?
He wears a smile on his face so far. So he's doing pretty okay. But you can tell he is still worried because he's still in fear of his life. He didn't get killed. He just got shot in his foot, but he saw that boy and that boy saw him.
The suspect remains in police custody. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Earlier today, Angela Lopez, the mother of 16-year-old Japhet Stamp, visited our office. She is seeking financial assistance with the burial of her only child. She's also demanding justice for the callous manner in which the minor was shot and killed. Admittedly, Lopez said that her son was no saint. He did not own the suit of clothes in which he was killed, and she strongly believes that he was set up by a friend of his with whom he hung out every day.
I don't know who killed my son, but I just want justice for my son. Just give me justice, brother. Where they go into no brother? You don't know, yes, the man had a gun panna. Yes, the man look like an intention. But you should know that a young person where you get peer pressure by people where got more sense and more balance how to get weapon easily. Yes, my son never listen when I speak to him. And I no compound no media to cry. You understand? Me no got no more crying for cry right now. I was save that when my son go on the earth. And me no want no comments, brother. What I really need the support. Financially. Any way where I could find my son, forgive my son. My son birthday, I'm just right here. My son birthday, that's Sunday right here. So the chance my son life and dress my son up for God, for death. Knowing that the clothes where they put for my son would have never in dream for put on. Now in tennis, you can't get what tennis for my son foot. You can't get if you wear long pants and the clothes when they dress my son, they're like automatically and they set up my son for God, for death, brother. I don't know who could be such a worthless mind to do that to my only son. Why I feel.
What if he chose to do that on his own? What if he was in his full senses when he decided that he was going to go in that area to attack someone?
You see that the story I get wrong why they going. That he choose this and he choose that. He not choose nothing. If him for me choose that, I don't choose the one where they threaten he every day true for he hole. He won't have me go up on another hole for beef, on another fight where not got to do it for he life.
The police have not yet issued any details into the murder of 18-year-old Gabriel Tillett. The youth's mutilated body was found in the Lord Ridge Cemetery on Tuesday morning after he disappeared Monday night. Missing was his pants and cell phone. And while police try to solve this latest murder, Tillett's family says he was killed for his cell phone. News 5's Marian Ali went back to the family today and filed the following report.
The family of Gabriel Tillett believes that he was murdered over his cell phone, which was missing, along with his pants, when his body was found inside the Lord Ridge Cemetery on Tuesday morning. Today, Tillett's family told News 5 that someone he knew had taken away his phone.
I did say that the young man take away his phone from her, and I tell her, no worry about the phone, no worry about it. Just stay
when was that?
Relax. This was Monday night. Monday night, because he come home like after 7, and I said, I'm going to ask him, where the phone there? And he said, oh, they take the phone from her, whatever. So I tell her, who take the phone? I did give me the person name. I tell her, you know what, it's true, no worry about the phone. Just left it right there. Stay home and relax yourself. You done the home already, no go back out there.
Gabriel's sister, Jenny Stewart, told us that he left the house when she went to the shop, and his mom told us that from what they understand, his phone was taken away as collateral for weed.
The young man gave her some weed for sale, and then my son smoked out the weed and never have the $30 to give her. So he take away the phone from my son.
As collateral?
As collateral. My dad he say he want the phone. So my dad had to tell her, don't worry about the phone. But she said she gone a shop, and by the time she come up for a shop, she called me and tell me, say, Ma, Gabriel done the way up the street to walk go. Say going for your phone.
Tillett walked up Antelope Street, but the family says they understand that he was lured into a vehicle.
They carry in our car because another person, why another car, nobody name, tell me they pass the same time and they see and they get in the car with the young man.
Gabriel Tillett's body was found the following morning in the nearby Lord Ridge Cemetery with blunt force wounds to the head and cut wounds to his feet. The family dismisses other reports that Gabriel Tillett was involved in any gang-related activity or serious criminal offense. Today, his mother explained why he was enrolled in the Mountain Pine Ridge Youth Program.
That was one of the neighborhood brawl when we got on back here, so they had a fight back here, so we saw a young man. And when they had the fight with the young man, in that process of the fighting, one young man may get stabbed. And that's the way my son got a boot camp for. And they had to release him because they said that they have nothing against him and the time have expired, and they had to, without all charges, was dismissed against him. So my son is not known to no law, he don't have no criminal charges.
Gabriel's mom informed that had he not been remanded to the youth facility, he would have graduated last month from Gwenliz High School. Kevin Cadle, the director of the Department of Youth Services, told News 5 today that Tillett was a youth who had the potential to become a youth leader.
We did the biopsychosocial analysis on him, as well as we did an educational analysis to see where he was educationally, and he passed. He's a very intelligent kid. We believe that his life was cut short, like the others, like the other one, the other young man who was killed, Mr. Stamp, who was killed the day before. And so we recognize that he was a kid that could have actually become a leader in our community, just like I said about Mr. Stamp. These are kids who are just vulnerable. We have this Sprite tournament that he was a part of previously, and also he was very instrumental in a lot of the basketball tournaments that we had as well.
Police have detained a few persons, but are yet to lay charges against anyone for Tillett's murder. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Coming up, Elmer now appears to be receiving velvet glove treatment. Find out the details of these stories when we come back.
At the Life Company, we understand that life can be demanding and fast-paced, so we've made it easier for you to contact us. Wherever you may be, And at your own convenience, you can now access our services through our social media platforms. RFNG Life is pleased to introduce our new Lifebot service. Request a quotation, make premium payments, speak to a customer service representative, and more from right where you are in the palm of your hands. Visit our website or Facebook page or WhatsApp us at 671-5143 to try out our new Lifebot service today. RFNG Life Insurance, the Life Company.
It is with pleasure that I speak on the decision made by Cabinet recently to expand the basic food basket of regulated food items from only 9 to a comprehensive 43 items.
What this does is it actually expands the range of goods that we have jurisdiction to look into, to inquire into. So what that would mean in effect, when you do an inspection, and if it's a good that is listed on the schedule, you would identify that product, you would request an invoice or a receipt from the retail outlet owner, you would calculate what their purchase cost is, you look at that in contrast to the retail price, and then you would be able to work out what their maximum percent markup is. If that is in excess, you issue your violation ticket. If that is within range, then that is fine.
Bye. Why long time did I call you?
Meet Alex.
Where they go on, man?
Alex signed up for a Digi One premium bundle. He's loving it. With his free mobile plan, Alex can talk and surf on the go as much as he wants. Topping up and buying data is a thing of the past. Alex now has Digi TV. He enjoys all his games and his favorite shows, no matter if he's on the go or at home. And Alex also enjoys the fastest, most reliable home internet speeds with his DigiNet service. He is living his best life. Alex bundled. Alex is saving $70 monthly compared to purchasing these services from the other providers. Be like Alex. Sign up for your Digi One bundle package today. Digi One. One bundle, no hassle, exceptional value.
Prime Minister John Briceño, why did you spend $200,000 of taxpayers' money on a legal opinion which you then kept secret? Was it because that opinion said the definitive agreement was unlawful and you didn't want to hear that? So, you still tried to sneak the definitive agreement past your cabinet, but they catch you.
There is no way the Prime Minister can explain how having Dratwich's opinion, which concluded on such a clear, unambiguous note. He could go to cabinet, and I don't want to hear that Chris Coy prepared the cabinet paper, or Stuart Leslie, or maybe the good financial secretary. It doesn't matter. That I was there. That paper goes under the hand of the Prime Minister. It is his paper, and it is inexplicable that the Prime Minister could have taken such a paper to cabinet, enjoining cabinet to approve the definitive agreement on the basis that it was binding, and non-approval would expose the cabinet to liability, when Dr. Juratowicz's opinion to the contrary was so very clear.
Prime Minister, what were you thinking?
It beggars belief that he could have done that innocently. There can be no innocence about that. That obviously had to be deliberate. And why the Prime Minister would do such a thing, in fact, is clearly tied up with all the noise we've been hearing about special interests and about connections and that sort of thing. In any case, how now can he say to members of cabinet, there is a reasonable explanation, there is any explanation at all for my doing that?
Prime Minister, will you apologize to the nation for trying to get the dirty definitive agreement passed into law?
I can't recollect any Prime Minister being in as much in a pickle as these circumstances constitute for the current Prime Minister. You just cannot explain that. The members of cabinet, like the members of the public, can only come to one conclusion, and in my view, that conclusion makes the Prime Minister's continued tenure untenable. There is no recovering the huge ground that he has lost. His colleagues are aware of the larger issue at play. His colleagues know that, as the good Michael Ashcroft has said, this is another pension plan for the boys, with the difference that it is a pension plan for only some of the boys. So I wish the Prime Minister well, but I do not see how he can get away from this one.
Former cop Elmer Na returned to the Belmopan Magistrate Court this morning for partial disclosure in the triple homicide case of David, John, and Vivian Ramnareis. The three were socializing on John and Vivian's property on New Year's night in Belmopan when a lone gunman ambushed them. David and John died that night as a result of the gunshot injuries they sustained. Vivian passed away 15 days later. Investigators suspect that the former cop pulled the trigger that took the lives of all three individuals. Arthur Saldivar, the legal advisor and spokesperson for the Ramnareis family, told us what transpired in court this morning.
Today's hearing was for disclosure to have been made to Elmer Na. What transpired was was unprecedented in the sense that, yes, disclosure was made, but it was made directly to his attorney without him being present in court. And when he did appear in court, it was then that he was informed, because his attorney had already left the building. And this more than likely occurred before 9 o'clock, before court officially convened, which makes it even more curious as to why it was done that way. The prosecution has within its purview how they disclose the statements and other materials they have upon which they are going to form their case. It is not in every case that you get disclosure all at once. So partial disclosure, I believe at this point came as a result of certain statements made by the presiding magistrate in the matter prior to now, which made it a matter of urgency that the prosecution provide disclosure at the earliest possible time. So they came through with something today. More than likely, on the next occasion in August, they will provide the remaining portion of that disclosure.
The family of the slain victims rallied outside the courtroom this morning in Belmopan. Saldivar says the family is cautiously optimistic that justice will be served. They are, however, concerned about the favorable treatment that Na appears to be enjoying.
The family remains cautiously optimistic that due process would be served. They are, however, worried about the way Mr. Na has been treated. It seems to them and to others that Elmer Na is receiving favorable treatment. He's being treated with velvet gloves, as it were. And where we have seen others accused of the kinds of offenses that Elmer Na has been reputed to commit, they have been treated with a certain level of consistency as it relates to how they are brought to court. This morning, Na was brought to court in an air-conditioned vehicle, sitting very comfortably inside the cab. He is no longer in the estimation of any reasonable thinking person. He is not deserving of that treatment when other prisoners are brought to court in the pans of pickup trucks or shackled inside a van. So the family sees this as favorable treatment being extended to him, which caused them to worry about whether or not those in the higher authority of the government and the police department may have something to do with the treatment that he is receiving.
2 men have been charged in connection with a brawl and subsequent injuries at the Elton Gillett Park in Boom. In that incident, Coast Guard officer Daniel Sabito was seriously injured and left partially paralyzed. 52-year-old Garrison Nicholson of Boom Village was charged with aggravated assault with a machete and was granted bail of $1,500. The second suspect, 38-year-old Adrian Myvit, also from Boom, was remanded to prison until September 5th on a charge of attempted murder. Nicholson had an injury on his left arm, reportedly the result of the machete fight. Allegations are that on Saturday, July 1st, Nicholson assaulted Robert Tillett with a machete. Nicholson, who was unrepresented, pleaded not guilty to the charge. While he is out on bail, he is not to contact the virtual complainant or any members of his family. He is not to be within 100 yards of the complainant or any of his family members, and he is not to be arrested and charged with any other offense while he is out on bail. Myvit was read 2 counts of attempted murder charges and 1 count of possession of a controlled drug. He pleaded guilty to drug possession and was fined $400 plus a $5 cost of court time to be paid by September 29th, in default 4 months imprisonment. The report by Robert Tillett is that he was watching a basketball game with his friends at the park when Sabito went over to the right side of the court and that a person who he knew approached him. The other man pulled out a machete and attacked Sabito, and the man also picked up a bottle and threw it at Sabito, hitting him at the back of his head. According to Tillett, he and his other friends picked up Daniel Sabito, who was injured in the attack, and they carried him to the hospital. Well-known criminal figure Brandon Taylor, also known as Brandon Bowen, is out on bail on a charge of robbery. The charge against Taylor is in relation to a holdup at the Belize Healthcare Partners Limited on Monday, June 26th. On that day, the cashier at the hospital was held up by a man who exited a vehicle and grabbed an envelope from her which contained an undisclosed amount of cash. The man then ran to the vehicle, which sped off. Today, after confirming his real name as Brandon Taylor, the 37-year-old was also charged for abetment to robbery. Allegations are that Taylor purposely aided and encouraged another in committing the robbery. Taylor appeared before Magistrate Kiana Gordon, where he pleaded not guilty, and despite objection to bail by the prosecutor, he was granted bail in the sum of $3,000 with conditions. Police reviewed video footage that showed a blue Ford Escape and a blue Mazda Tribute stopping before a pedestrian ramp on Chetumal Boulevard, and the suspect in the robbery exiting the Ford Escape and jumping into the Mazda Tribute driven by Taylor. Police have not yet charged anyone for robbery. A woman took to Facebook this week to ask for help for her sister after she was attacked and brutally beaten, allegedly by her common-law husband. Jamil Bowden Henry wrote as part of her post asking that the justice system doesn't grant the accused bail after having viciously attacked her sister with a knife. Bowden Henry included several pictures of her sister, Herminia Collins, showing wounds to her face, arms, neck, and knee, which she alleges were inflicted by her brother-in-law. She makes the case that her sister and her children are fearful for their lives because he frequently physically abuses them. News 5 understands that Herminia Collins has moved out of the house and is at a safe location away from her common-law husband. By the post, the accused was supposed to appear in court today to face the latest charge related to the incident. Police have not yet issued any details of the incident. We'll follow up on the story on Thursday. After the break, BDF says BTV has no permission to access Sarstoon FOB. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
It is with pleasure that I speak on the decision made by Cabinet recently to expand the basic food basket of regulated food items from only 9 to a comprehensive 43 items.
We went to establishments, we walked aisle by aisle, okay? And what we did was to come up with a list of goods that is by no means complete, as comprehensive as it can be, but is some representative of some of the core items that the average consumer would purchase. And what we have done is now putting in place measures to place markups, maximum percentage markups on these goods. What that means, it does not mean that for a 12-ounce can of corned beef, for instance, just a random product, that it will state a specific price. What it indicates is that there's a limit on the markup that the retailer can put when he's pricing that good. So if they purchase the good for $2 and it's a food item and the maximum percentage markup is 15%, that retail price would then be $2 plus the 15%. So that is what the effect of these changes are.
Your unwavering trust in RF&G Insurance is the reason we are one of the leading insurance companies in Belize. The conversations and connections we share are part of why our network of dedicated professionals works tirelessly for you. RF&G Insurance is inviting you to visit us or an agent near you on July 7, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for our Customer Appreciation Day. Get ready for a day filled with exciting prizes and delightful surprises. Remember, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Roe Group company.
Legal advice, the continuing legal advice.
Minister Coe, you claimed you needed legal advice, but you had already gotten legal advice from Ben Duratowicz, the British lawyer defending Belize against Guatemala at the ICJ.
This is our attorney at the ICJ. The fate of our sovereign state depends on Ben Duratowicz. He prepared a 53-page legal opinion. The contract is simply unlawful even if the government were to wish to maintain it. You understand this came on April 20th. The definitive agreement went to cabinet. Yes.
Yeah.
For its acceptance on May 17th. The government ignored it, pushed it on the table, and wished that the public would never see it or know of it. I believe they wished also that certain cabinet members would not know it or speak of it.
I would rely entirely on the legal advice provided to the government.
Minister Coe, you want legal advice? See it, yeah?
The government cannot, as a matter of principle, lawfully proceed on the basis of a contract, the content of which is unlawful. Like, what else do you need to hear? He could not say it more clearly.
Minister Coe, why were you still asking for legal advice 2 months after you had already received expensive legal advice from the British lawyer who told you that this contract was not just illegal, but unconstitutional?
So what he's saying is that if you accept this contract, you're saying that individual members of parliament can't vote how their people tell them to vote. They have to vote as this contract tells them. That's unconstitutional.
Minister Coe, why did you not disclose to your cabinet colleagues the legal opinion that the corrupt definitive agreement was unlawful? Why did you ask them to approve the definitive agreement and pass it into law? Why are you bringing all this heat on the government? Why, Minister, why?
Do you know how to protect yourself against mosquito bites? First, eliminate mosquito breeding sites in and around the home. If you're in a place where there are many mosquitoes, dress in long sleeves clothes and pants. Use repellent on skin and clothing. Preventative measures are particularly important for pregnant women, newborns, and people with chronic diseases. If you sleep in an area where there are a lot of mosquitoes, use a mosquito net. Avoid visiting where there is standing water or accumulated garbage, as they can be breeding sites for mosquitoes. Share this information with your family and neighbors. Without breeding sites, there are no mosquitoes, and without mosquitoes, there's no dengue.
Y'all ready for this? Ready or not? This is possibly the greatest fight in semi-pro basketball history. Scheduled for 5 brutal rounds. Let's get it on. Hurricanes with a vicious right hook to the jaw of the Tiger Sharks in Game 1. Down but not out. Sharks answers with a massive left jab to lay out the Hurricanes in round 2. Here comes the Hurricanes with a ferocious power shot to the body of the Tiger Sharks. In round 3, back and forth they go. Who will win the decisive Game 4?
They're playing basketball.
All around. This Friday night, July 7th at Belize Civic Center, starting at 9 p.m., is gonna be the battle between the 3-time champion San Pedro Tiger Sharks and the 2-time champ Belize Hurricanes in an all-out war for Game 4.
War in the East.
This game will be the biggest of the season. Two storied franchises with multiple championships like the Celtics and the Lakers. It's the San Pedro Tiger Sharks, led by Francis Naitiarana, Kyle Stewart, Jihad Wright, John Kelly, going up against the Belize Hurricanes, who will answer with Clancy Coupe Lopez, Victor Vito Evans, Kirk Shabba-Smith Jr., Alex the Legend Carcomo, Jamil Harrison, Chris Frazier. Will the Hurricanes close them out and win their third championship? Or will the Hurricanes be eaten alive by the Tiger Sharks, forcing a decisive Game 5? Bring out the entire family this Friday night, June 7th. Belize Civic Center, 9 p.m. sharp. Canes versus Tiger Sharks. Lots of giveaways, Tiger Shark style. After party at Thursday. Sponsors Maya Island Air, Tough Enough Tours, West Track, Sandy Point Resorts, Joseph and Taylor.
Tiger Sharks with a confident win again.
The government of Belize has allocated funds for the reconstruction of a forward operating base at the mouth of the Sarstoon River. The FOB that was constructed back in 2015 has not been occupied because the land has been washed away due to erosion. On Tuesday, the Belize Territorial Volunteers issued a release saying that the area has been abandoned and there is no Belizean military presence. BTV is now saying that it will take up space in the area this Sunday, but will they run the risk of being arrested? News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
It's been about a year since the forward operating base at the mouth of the Sarstoon has not been occupied by Belize military.
We had it occupied until last year. At the beginning, it was a joint venture with police and the Coast Guard, but then the police left, followed by the Coast Guard, because of they were citing the security hazards that involves living in that forward observation base. We stayed there until we sought the assistance of the engineers, Mr. Timbrell from Infrastructure Development, if I'm not mistaken, and also some civil engineers like the eminent Cadet Henderson, who went there and declared that the building is unsafe.
The structure has been deemed unlivable due to the hazards caused by erosion, and the BDF had to set up shop in Barranco. The Belize Territorial Volunteers says that the area has been abandoned. The Guatemalan armed forces have beefed up their presence, exercising authority in the area.
We've made several trips there and there's no presence there, while the Guatemalan armed forces has basically increased their presence on the Sarstoon. They've made their base bigger, they've made their base bigger, they've made their pier bigger, and what have we done? We have abandoned it. The Guatemalans continue to be aggressive. They have actually start stopping the BDF now. They tried to stop us when we went the last time, and now we have confirmed reports that they are trying to stop the BDF as well. So we as Belizeans, we have to show the Guatemalans, we have to show the world that we have a presence on the Sarstoon, that the Sarstoon belongs to us. I must commend the BDF because when they were there, you can see the results of their presence. The economic activities had increased, more fish for the fishermen, which means the economy is improving. There's more wildlife in the area, which is good for tourism. So there are social and economic and environmental benefits that come as a result of the military being there.
But BDF Commander Brigadier General Azariel Loria says that soldiers maintain a presence in the area.
We have a standing operation procedure that we are going to patrol from first light to night, to last light, we call it. At certain times, depending on the astronomical conditions, and especially now, we cannot be able to go because of the tidal wave, but the tidal waves. But whenever we have good weather, we go. Whenever we have our boats that are giving trouble, we cannot go. But the decision, the directive that has been given to the battalion commander down in the south is to patrol it every day. And we have been doing that. Over the past 2 weeks, we have had a major operation going on in the area of Cadenas. That is to the next side of the Sarstoon, bordering Guatemala. We were having we are removing a palm plantation that has been there, and we are patrolling, and that same boat is providing assistance. So we are patrolling all the area, the entire river that belongs to Belize.
Brigadier General Loria speaks to the sensitivity of the situation in the area and fears that the proposed action by the BTV will create unnecessary conflict.
As recent as a month and a half ago, when in one of the excursions conducted by the territorial volunteers, we noticed a change in the attitude of the Guatemalan Navy that is on the other side of the river. And they started trying to deny us access from entering into the river, the bar mouth itself. Nevertheless, we told them that based on the 1859 treaty, we are patrolling what belongs to Belize and no more, which is the deepest navigable channel of the Sarstoon. And they kept telling us, but about a month and a half ago was the last time that they did that. It is no longer, they are no longer doing it. And in so, we have reverted back to kind of controlling the situation, which is more or less the Guatemalans, they start with those type of aggressiveness when someone goes there and agitated, rock the boat per se.
Mahia says that they are set for Saturday, but will their plans be stopped dead in its tracks?
If they're not going to be there, then we need to fill that gap. We need to start to go there. We need to establish our presence there so that the Guatemalans, they respect Belize and Belize's border. Why would it be a concern? If we are inside Belize, we are unarmed, we are going there as peaceful citizens to establish our presence on the Sarstoon. That is the point. We cannot allow Guatemala to continue to take over the entire river, trying to harass not only civilians, but also our military.
We are going to place signs to keep out trespassers and intruders, because that building belongs to the Ministry of National Defense and Border Security, and we have not given authority or permission for anyone else to occupy it.
So what happens on Saturday?
Well, we are making provisions for it. We have I have provided direction to the battalion commander down in the south, and he is doing the plans accordingly.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Several weeks ago, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told the media of the increased presence of cartels in southern Mexico, and there are reports that contrabandists who frequently cross over in Mexico are being forced to pay the cartels for access. It is quickly becoming a concern for local authorities. And today, BDF Commander Brigadier General Azario Loria told the media that they have been on the ground providing support to the Belize Police Department in areas such as San Victor, San Roman, and Douglas.
That's an area of concern as we speak. I think that Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, has briefed on that about a developing cartel, or a cartel that branch off the Sinaloa cartel, and they have formed their mini cartel in that area. From the BDF perspective, we have not seen the Mexicans entering into Belizean territory. And what we're doing is to assist. We're in support of the police. We are patrolling the rivers. They do not have the necessary assets to do that. So we are patrolling up and down with our special boat unit. We have our guys there, and also we are in support of the police doing land patrols in what they call their composites, their composite patrols. So we have our personnel, some of our personnel attached to, I think, 2 or 3 composite patrols in those villages to ensure that again, that we maintain the area as calm as possible and as safe, so that people can go about doing their daily lives. The operation was not placed for contrabandists. It was placed there in response to a cartel that is starting to form up, and we don't want that. We want to give it the attention that it requires, so that it doesn't spiral out of control as it is happening in Mexico right now, that everything is like how in colloquial terms, we say is going south. We don't want that to come to here to Belize.
Well, Mejia also wore his Belize Progressive Party hat today and spoke to News 5 about the redistricting process. It was the BPP that took GOB to court, triggering voter equity among electoral divisions. Mejia says that they've been disrespected by the Elections and Boundaries Commission because they've been excluded from the process and have not been privy to the draft document. Now, the final recommendations are to be forwarded to Cabinet on July 14th, and Mejia is appealing to the Commission to do the right thing.
We are one of the ones who took the government to court for this redistricting exercise. And for me, it's just amazing to hear the leader of the opposition now crying like a baby about this redistricting and how unfair it is. When his government was in, he did nothing to push the redistricting, when he knew well that in Belize, there's no voter equity, and that's what we have been pushing for. Now the redistricting is coming along, and he is not happy with what's going on, because the same thing that's happening to him today has been happening to all of us Belizeans for the past 25 years. What we are doing, appealing to the commission, the people who sits on that, and this redistricting commission, to do the right thing, not for political reasons, but for Belizeans. They have an obligation to all Belizeans to make voting equal, so that there's voter equity across this country. You can't have a division with 4,000 in Belize City, as is proposed now, 4,000 or 5,000, when Toledo continue to have 7,000 and 8,000 in their division. There's no voter equity. And we hope that the commission, they owe it to the Belizean public, not to a political party, but to the Belizeans who live in this country, to make voting equal and fair. Right now, what I've seen, it's not equal and fair. We have been disrespected by the commission. They keep talking about PUP and UDP being on the commission, when we, the Belize Progressive Party, are one of the ones who took them to court to force this redistricting. They have not kept us informed. They have not invited us on the commission, which is total disrespect.
When we return, mother needs financial assistance to bury her son.
Prime Minister John Briceño, why did you spend $200,000 of taxpayers' money on a legal opinion which you then kept secret? Was it because that opinion said the definitive agreement was unlawful and you didn't want to hear that? So, you still tried to sneak the definitive agreement past your cabinet, but they catch you.
There is no way the Prime Minister can explain how having Juratovich's opinion, which concluded on such a clear, unambiguous note, he could go to cabinet, and I don't want to hear that Chris Coy prepared the cabinet paper, or Stuart Leslie, or maybe the good financial secretary. It doesn't matter. That I was there. That paper goes under the hand of the Prime Minister. It is his paper, and it is inexplicable that the Prime Minister could have taken such a paper to Cabinet, enjoining Cabinet to approve the definitive agreement on the basis that it was binding, and non-approval would expose the Cabinet to liability, when Dr. Juratovich's opinion to the contrary was so very clear.
Prime Minister, what were you thinking?
It beggars belief that he could have done that innocently. There can be no innocence about that. That obviously had to be deliberate. And why the Prime Minister would do such a thing, in fact, is clearly tied up with all the noise we've been hearing about special interests and about connections and that sort of thing. In any case, how now can he say to members of cabinet, there is a reasonable explanation, there is any explanation at all for my doing that?
Prime Minister, will you apologize to the nation for trying to get the dirty definitive agreement passed into law?
I can't recollect any Prime Minister being in as much in a pickle as these circumstances constitute for the current Prime Minister. You just cannot explain that. The members of cabinet, like the members of the public, can only come to one conclusion, and in my view, that conclusion makes the Prime Minister's continued tenure untenable. There is no recovering the huge ground that he has lost. His colleagues are aware of the larger issue at play. His colleagues know that, as the good Michael Ashcroft has said, this is another pension plan for the boys, with the difference that it is a pension plan for only some of the boys. So I almost, I wish the Prime Minister well, but I do not see how he can get away from this one.
Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axix Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
It's almost lunchtime and Alice is getting hungry and forgot to bring cash. She remembers that eCash now has a geolocation feature in which she can easily view the eCash merchants near her, especially restaurants. Her co-workers also ask her to order food for them.
Chicken chow mein, please, and a Coke.
The merchant sends her the payment link, she taps confirm, and within a few minutes, her food is delivered. Alice then views her transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the split the bill button where she selects the unevenly option and moves the bar to the desired amount per person. The request is then sent to her friends. Her colleagues accept the request and are ready to enjoy their meals. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash make Alice's life a whole lot easier.
Calling all business owners in Belize. The second Belize Investment Summit 2023 is on its way on August 30th to September 1st, 2023. Join us at the Grand Caribe Belize in San Pedro for 3 days of networking, presentations, and high-level discussions with key local and international decision makers. Do you have a business plan or are trying to expand your business reach and you just need the right investor to make it happen? Then you need to attend the Belize Investment Summit 2023. Don't miss out on this chance to take your business to the next level. Register for the Belize Investment Summit today at www.investmentsummit.bz.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
The local shrimp industry has a new lease on life almost a decade after recovery efforts. Back in 2015, a viral infection known as the early mortality syndrome devastated the industry. Hundreds of employees lost their jobs and tens of millions of dollars in losses were recorded. For years, multiple methods were implemented without much success. The industry is now utilizing a technological and scientifically proven method that not only prevents the deadly disease, but also contributes to yields of up to 7 times more than the industry's peak in 2014. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Belize's shrimp industry is rebounding and has the potential to surpass the national production volumes of 2014, when the industry was at its peak. That's according to Alvin Henderson, the president of the Belize Shrimp Growers Association. This news comes after almost a decade of downward spiral in local shrimp production.
In 2014, I think it's a good place where you can provide some reference. In the year 2014, hard currency earnings in this industry was just about $90 million. And in terms of actual production, was that's the lion's share of it went out. It was exported, but some of it was also being consumed locally. With prospects for massive expansion, because this industry doesn't go necessarily into markets for preferential access and all that. With shrimp, you have this wherewithal to actually go to many markets across the globe. So it's not restricted in terms of requiring some preferential access to for certain markets. So the opportunity for those who were involved in the industry was really wide open. In 2015, we got exposed to a disease called the early mortality syndrome.
The viral infection dealt a devastating blow to the industry, disseminating shrimp production in Belize, leading to widespread layoffs and tens of millions of dollars in losses. This period also saw the closure of a couple of the major shrimp producers.
A viral infection in the industry, it's been affecting the industry for a few months now. All farms have had to dry out, basically stop production, to clean out and to then restart. The industry is taking a little bit of a difficult, or let me say they're taking the hard way around it, but it's the best way around it, to restock with new genetic material. And that's the wisest decision that they could have taken. It's taken a little time. Originally, they thought that they would be able to restock by early next year, but it appears that we'll have a few months delay in that industry.
The Development Finance Corporation has been a long-standing industry partner, even before the viral infection. DFC had been patient with the industry stakeholders as several attempts were being made towards rebound. In February 2021, the lending institution was faced with a critical decision.
You roll back to February 2021, and from the DFC perspective, our exposure to shrimp is one of the biggest exposures on our portfolio. So we looked at how should we approach it? Should we stay? Should we throw in the chips and call it in? And in talking with one of our clients, Mr. Alvin Henderson, we were having a talk about the science of a new way of growing shrimp. And when we looked at the science made sense. And so we decided to, make another investment to try the science. It worked. I think we are about 18 or 19 field trials later or harvesting later, and the numbers are solid, around 90% survival rate.
So, after almost a decade of trials and errors, science and technology have proven to be the solution the industry was desperately seeking. The new sanitation technology prevents early mortality syndrome and other diseases.
So in the past, we used to do about 2,000 to 3,500 pounds per acre. We're currently averaging about 22,000 pounds per acre. If you ask me what is the secret behind this technology, it's really very simple. It's something I've explained before to you, I think, when we were on the program together. It has to do with sanitation. It's the ability to efficiently concentrate and rapidly remove this organic load. I mean, almost without exception, the diseases that are known to our industry are caused, are provoked, or are made to accelerate quickly in the field because of the absence or inability to control organic material.
The industry is now at a point where it is able to scale up to a point where stakeholders can collaborate locally and compete internationally. Recently, Cabinet approved the allocation of $6 million in financing through DFC to lend shrimp growers.
What we are seeing is a potential opportunity to get out of the commodity space. So we don't only export shrimp, but we export branded shrimp. And that might be when I say we, the industry, has to joint venture or set up shop abroad where we send stuff and we sell it and we are controlling the brand. Because if you look at the economics of things, Paul, over time, over 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, depending on the life cycle of the industry, the persons or the farmers always are on the short end of the stick if you're just doing commodity.
According to Cabinet, the government will also request that Belize Electricity Limited applies the industrial rate to shrimp farms.
The reason why that request even came to the table is because with this technology, energy is such a significant portion of your production cost. And we estimate our cost, based on the trials that we've done, it's about 22% of your production cost.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Henry Anderson, the Chief Executive Officer at the Development Finance Corporation, is warning against the illegal importation of shrimp. He says the practice poses a major threat to the rebounding industry. Anderson fears that contraband shrimp will undo years of progress.
There are a couple other threats that are out there. Contrabanding, that's an issue. And so, we work closely with, Ministry of Agriculture. They're part of our board, they understand that issue. But we have to work with government and all of the other agencies, customs and everybody else to crack it down because we don't need that, right? And in the tourism sector, the local shrimp, it's coming back. It's high quality, the 30-gram shrimp, it's coming back. So by the end of the year, early next year, all of that will be available locally. Stop playing this game of getting in things cheap because you're not only bringing in shrimp, but you could bring in disease and we disrupt everything.
Wayne Matura is the second shooting victim in Sunday's deadly attack in Belize City. And as we've reported, he remains hospitalized at this time. Matura is scheduled to undergo surgery for the injury he received to his leg. The Belize Blood Bank has donated 8 pints of blood, but there is still a need for more. The family is also organizing a turkey dinner sale on July 14th to assist with medical expenses that have been racking up. Matura's sister, Rema, speaks to News 5 about these initiatives.
We're going to have a turkey dinner sale next week, Friday, the 14th of July, to raise funds for his medical bill and the surgery he's going to undergo. And we are also asking for more blood because the blood bank is always in need of blood. So if you can help donate some blood to him, no problem. They're going to take it because they are always in need of blood. They gave us 8 pints just like that, with no questions asked. So we just want to thank them by just giving them back some. They are not asking back for it. They're not.
Let's talk about the turkey dinner. You said it's later on this month. How much is for a turkey dinner? How can people get it?
Okay, the dinner is going to be straight off the Fire Heart. My mom's number is 621 at 947. It's $12 a plate and it comes with dessert. We're going to start from 11 until it's finished. Basically, it's just to pay the hospital bill and the mounting expenses that these foods left us in.
The mother of slain teenager Japheth Stamp is also in need of financial assistance to bury her son. According to Angela Lopez, she has been informed by police that the morgue at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital is presently full, and as such, an autopsy cannot be conducted on the body of 16-year-old Japheth. Without a death certificate, Lopez says she cannot solicit the help she desperately needs for his funeral.
I tell you the God truth, I still can't believe. I'm still in a shock. I lost. I don't know what else to do. I can't bring back my son. Nobody can bring back my son. And I try to find a way, hopefully, get my son a proper burial. I need some support. I don't know where I come from. I don't get no support. I want they give me the certificate, the death certificate of my son, so I could bury my son as soon as possible. And I don't get no help yet because they say adults people in the morgue. I don't know, because I just want to bury my son, brother. Because nobody can bury my son for me, only me. With a little assistance anyway, I don't know where I come from, but I really need a little assistance. If I know that person, I'm a bad influence to my son, I'm a chase with a body like a dog, brother. And everybody know who I get down. I don't borrow nobody, brother. So if I know you may be a bad influence to my son, I know that you may be the cause of my death for my son. Just before 1 week before your birthday, you know I got big plans for my son, brother. For that plan, I never tell what pick me if you go pick up a gun, brother. For shorten one next person's life and for land in a jail too. Everybody know that life got consequences towards it. You know, hit to a dog and everybody feel feet. So when you think when you know shot down a human being, brother. Who know feel the pain no? No must be parents. No, instead of go spend $200 for a cake and throw a party for my son, no, I have to throw a funeral and arrange a funeral for my son will cost me over $5,000. Money where I didn't even know where I can't get any from.
Up next, meet the 12 singers who made the cut for KTV The Remix Season 5.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Legal advice, the continuing legal advice.
Minister Coe, you claimed you needed legal advice, but you had already gotten legal advice from Ben Duratowicz, the British lawyer defending Belize against Guatemala at the ICJ.
This is our attorney at the ICJ. The fate of our sovereign state depends on Ben Duratowicz. He prepared a 53-page legal opinion. The contract is simply unlawful even if the government were to wish to maintain it. You understand this came on April 20th. The definitive agreement went to cabinet. Yes.
Yeah.
For its acceptance on May 17th. The government ignored it, pushed it on the table and wished that the public would never see it or know of it. I believe they wished also that certain cabinet members would not know it or speak of it.
I would rely entirely on the legal advice provided to the government.
Minister Coe, you want legal advice? See it, yeah?
The government cannot, as a matter of principle, lawfully proceed on the basis of a contract, the content of which is unlawful. Like, what else do you need to hear? He could not say it more clearly.
Minister Coe, why were you still asking for legal advice 2 months after you had already received expensive legal advice from the British lawyer who told you that this contract was not just illegal, but unconstitutional?
So what he's saying is that if you accept this contract, you're saying that individual members of parliament can't vote how their people tell them to vote. They have to vote as this contract tells them. That's unconstitutional.
Minister Kowi, why did you not disclose to your cabinet colleagues the legal opinion that the corrupt definitive agreement was unlawful? Why did you ask them to approve the definitive agreement and pass it into law? Why are you bringing all this heat on the government? Why, Minister, why?
Every year, World Environment Day is celebrated on June 5, and the Department of the Environment, within the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management, joins the nation of Belize and other United Nations member countries in worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment, with this year's theme being to beat plastic pollution. We have seen the effects of climate change, now exacerbated by the effects of plastic pollution, primarily from single-use plastics. The Ministry, through the auspices of the Department of the Environment, has enacted the pollution from plastics regulation in 2020, noting that single-use plastics is of high environmental concern. This regulation sought to curb the environmental impacts associated with single-use plastics and to better promote green alternatives, which resulted in the development of national standards for biodegradable products.
The government of Belize, through the Department of Environment, has been controlling and enforcing these regulations to ensure that we protect Belize from the threats of plastic pollution. In so doing, nationwide market surveillance and product sampling has been conducted, resulting in enforcement actions which includes sale prohibition and confiscation of single-use plastics and styrofoam. The detrimental environmental impacts of single-use plastics are everyone's concern. The government calls upon all businesses, industries, civil societies, NGOs, and you, the citizens of Belize, to have civic pride and to help in the fight against plastic pollution and to further contribute to the national efforts in transitioning to a circular economy. Together, we can beat plastic pollution. Happy World Environment Day.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Over 10,000 persons tuned in on Facebook and YouTube as the live shows for Season 5 of KTV The Remix aired on Tuesday night. The 12 singers who made the cut were revealed as they took the stage at the Bliss to perform a song of their choice that showcased their vocal talents. The singers are from across the country, and in a KTV first, 2 of them got perfect scores. Here's a recap of the performances.
Las altas y las chaparritas, las flacas, las gorras y las chiquititas, solteras y viudas y divorciaditas. Me encantan las chatas de caras bonitas, me gustan las sueras que no sean celos. Me encantan las chatas poco resbalos, que tengan mamás muy buenas señoras. Me encantan las gorras retecaladoras, que tengan hermanos que no sean celosos, que tengan sus novios caras de babos. Me encanta la vida, me gusta el amor, soy aventurero, revacilador.
Yeah, there are days that we all feel like we're messed up, but the truth is that we're all diamonds in the rough. So don't be ashamed to wear your crown. You're a king, you're a queen inside and out. You glow like the moon, you shine like the stars. This is for you, wherever you are. Yeah, yeah.
You should've known better than to cheat a friend and waste the chance that I've been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Oh, oh, you didn't feel the same. Don't wear a port, you're in my heart. Give me one more chance to make it real.
Heartbreak anniversary. And you're like this every time. On these days I feel like you and me. Heartbreak anniversary. Do you ever think of me?
And I will always love you. Who will always love you.
And I will lay down my heart, and I feel the powers, but you won't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't.
I hope you dancing in the sky, and I hope you singing in the angels choir, and I hope the angels know what they have and take my breath away. If only you would say. It's only you and I, and that's the way we'll stay. I can love me better than, no, I can love me better than you can. I can love me better, baby. Can love me better. I can love me better, baby. Can love me better. I can love me better, baby. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself.
I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain, oh yeah. I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath away.
To vote for your favorite performer, text their respective number to 5885 using your smart and Digi phones. Fulltech Systems Limited is celebrating its 31st anniversary and doing so with a series of activities for its loyal customers as well as its business clients. Today at the Biltmore Plaza Hotel, the company hosted a seminar in collaboration with Dell Technologies to discuss the issues of data protection, disaster recovery, and cyber resilience.
With our ever intertwined technological, interactions. I mean, we have data networks, applications, every single thing that deals with technology, we at Fulltech Systems deal with. And so here we have the actual Securing the Future seminar of where we're talking about data protection, disaster recovery, cyber resilience. And with that, most businesses have to constantly check themselves, their networks, the sensitive data that they're collecting from customers. And by us having this specific seminar, we're introducing to a lot of the different businesses, utility companies that are actually here, the importance of protecting your data. There's awareness, the data backup, data encryption, there is employee awareness, which is so very important because from time to time we do have viruses or ransomware that gets into an organization network based upon, I would say maybe the aspect of them not knowing what to do whenever it comes to risks. So the companies have to educate their employees upon risk assessment, risk analysis of checking specific emails that look suspicious. Don't click on them.
And we end our newscast tonight with a report from our regional counterparts attending the conference of the heads of government of CARICOM in Port of Spain, Trinidad. The conference was hosted by the Right Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and chaired by Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of Dominica. Here's more from our colleague at CMC.
Prime Minister Rowley expressed confidence that future generations will look back approvingly on the outcome of the Golden Jubilee talks.
Never before have small states faced the broad and deep range of challenges that we face now. From climate change, pandemic, gun crimes and violence, transnational migration issues, to insecurity with food supplies, our region has been buffeted by many systemic storms. Throughout all of this, the majority of the people of our region have proven themselves to be resilient, resourceful, determined, and dignified.
As it turns 50, CARICOM might not have silenced its naysayers, but Rowley noted the progress that the regional grouping has made.
50 years after the birth of our union, and with the experience of having spawned so many regional institutions.
Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, did not resort to diplomatic language, saying we should step aside and be seen as an honest broker in the resolution of the crisis.
Well, this is a delicate issue. And I believe that the current Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, he has a significant role to play. I believe the time has come for him to be magnanimous and to indicate publicly to the Haitian people that he and others in his government will not be contesting the elections whenever they are called. He has said so privately, but I believe that it should be said openly to the Haitian people. And I'm of the view that if Henry takes that position, then he can become an honest broker. And between his efforts, utilizing the most powerful office in Haiti as an honest broker, along with the eminent persons group of CARICOM, and with the support of the international community, I believe that we could, or let's say Haiti for that matter, because it has to be a local solution, Haiti could put together a program to first of all stabilize the country, to deal with the lawlessness within the society. Obviously, they're going to need support in terms of more troops, more police, and so on. And at the same time, concurrently, establish a framework and certainly some firm dates for elections, and also to consult with the various stakeholders who will be interested in participating in those elections, and to place the country in a state of readiness to hold presidential elections.
The Bahamas is one of Haiti's closest neighbors geographically, and Prime Minister Philip Davis, as the immediate past chairman of the CARICOM, participated in talks in Jamaica where the Haitian stakeholders met in June to discuss a solution. Davis says the issues are complex.
Some of the issues are entrenched in personality, and those personalities are entrenched in their views, and the question of giving and taking we've not reached there yet, but what has been achieved is, I think, the lines have been drawn and we know what the issues are to be able to now try to bridge those issues.
There's a school of thought that the current Prime Minister should be among those who should not really be seen as being central to a solution now in Haiti in terms of possibly even contesting elections.
I get that's all part of the complex issues we have here, because again, it's all a matter of trust, and you'll have all sorts of issues bubbling up. Yes, you will have some that think that way, but at the moment, he is the only connection to any semblance of order. And so yes, there's this point of view that efforts we make might only be to shore him up, but it's not that, because I sense a genuineness in him of trying to get a resolution, and I think we are working towards helping that situation.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is CARICOM's longest-serving head of government and has been dealing with the Haitian issues for over 2 decades.
Since in the Bahamas, Henri has said, point blank in an answer to a question to me, and then I pulled Justin Trudeau, who was there, said, hear what the Prime Minister is saying. He said that he's not running, and nobody in his government would be running for the office of Prime Minister or President or any such office in any elections. He has said that, and he said he has said it publicly, I don't know. But he certainly said it to me, repeated it to me in the presence of the Prime Minister Trudeau, and also the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, when we're in the Bahamas. So that is a matter of record. And I can say that because he told me that. He told me that in front of witnesses.
St. Lucia, one of 2 CARICOM countries, the other being Dominica, that can communicate with the Haitians on a people-to-people basis. However, St. Lucia's Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, says St. Lucia's contribution will be at the diplomatic level.
St. Lucia has actually caused Dr. Kenny Anthony, former Prime Minister of St. Lucia, to be on an eminence persons group. That is because of his language skills in patois, and his knowledge and his experience in CARICOM affairs and in Haitian affairs also. So we are making a financial contribution to the eminence persons group. We are doing that. We are adding our voice to the need for Haiti to be able to return to normalcy. Our resources are limited, but we're working with CARICOM. I said we've allowed Kenny Anthony. Kenny Anthony is part of that eminent persons group. But our contribution is by advocacy, by giving the resources that we can give. But in terms of material resources, St. Lucia cannot. But St. Lucia is fully behind and fully involved in the move for Haiti to get back to normal.
The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has suggested that the international community agree to send a multinational security force to stabilize the situation in Haiti. This is one of the issues that regional leaders are expected to discuss as they wrap up their deliberations on Wednesday. This is Peter Richards in Port of Spain, Trinidad, reporting for News 5 Live.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.